I crossed the line. And I'm going to talk about those. I'm going to tell you what I did about it and what we're going to do moving forward. What's up, Motivators? Welcome back. It's Kevin. This is Purebullfit. Wait a minute. I'm the one who's been gone for like a year. Shouldn't I say?
I'm back.
With everything going on in the world, I decided to focus my time and my effort on the things that were most important, which is my family, my direct clients, the communities that I can interact with directly, and if I have time for it, content creation after that. I feel like I made the right decision, and if it ever comes down to that kind of limited amount of time and energy and focus, I'm going to make the same choice. So this is not one of those apology videos.
I'm John. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Not for that, anyway. We will get to the stuff I feel like I need to apologize for a little later in the video, and there are some things that I feel like I did wrong, and we are absolutely going to do better moving forward. So where the hell have I been? Well, I went back to school. I am focusing on that, and I do intend to eventually earn my degree, my doctorate in physical therapy. That remains my goal. But I also took time to study a little wizarding, mainly for the hats. And I took up, this happened. Listen, isolation is not good for everyone, okay? It's been a long couple of years. We don't get out much. We actually don't get out much, and that's for a purpose. Both my parents are immunocompromised through their medications that they take for other conditions, so it was really important that I mitigate my social interactions during the pandemic to the extent that was possible, so we could be as safe as possible, and I would 100% do it again in a heartbeat. It's been a rough 2 years. There's a lot of stuff that I've wanted to do, and I haven't felt like I've been able to do, but it really has opened my eyes to what is effective in these communities and what really isn't. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Because I don't know if you're aware, but previous to this video, every single bit of content created on this channel was created right here on this iPad from 2015. And if I'm going to come back and I'm going to make content, I want to do it better. So we upgraded. I actually got a PC. I got a camera. We've got some okay lighting. And we're going to be doing better produced, better organized, more consistent, and more frequent content from here moving forward. Now that I've got the time and energy to do it. Because I didn't want to come back to this if I wasn't going to do it better than I've done before. But this is not the place where I needed to do it better the most. You see, I think that we have identified one of the biggest problems that's stealing your gains. And that's toxicity in these communities. That is the rage baiting, the drama farming that goes on a lot of channels, and I have, to an extent, been guilty of it. I have absolutely made content that I knew was less educational than it was entertaining, and it was going to get views that didn't add a single minute to a single person's life. And if you know anything about this community, what we're actually here for is to help people live longer, better quality lives, and I haven't always been great at that. And I want to be better about it moving forward. Now, that does not mean that I don't want to still make entertaining content. We are still going to poke fun at ourselves, at each other, at this industry. But there are some times where I felt like I crossed the line. And I'm going to talk about those. I'm going to tell you what I did about it and what we're going to do moving forward. Now, one of the best things that has come out of me taking time off from YouTube is that my community, while it came from other communities, has forged an identity of its own as one of the most supportive and constructive communities out there. When I'm talking about the things where I felt like I crossed the line and said the things that I shouldn't have said, I don't want to be misunderstood. I meant them when I said them. And if I showed somebody disrespect, it's because I don't have or didn't have respect for them. I just don't think it's an appropriate venue for here where I'm trying to tell you, hey, this is how you can live a longer, better quality life if I spend most of the time just farming your clicks and your engagement because I am roasting some poor fool and dragging him over the coals.
Do something! God, that stinks!
So for those folks that are specifically here for the roasts, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is I'd much rather attack ideas than people. I still want to have a good time. I still want to be funny and entertaining. But I really don't think anything is gained from attacking somebody's character, dragging them through the mud, trying to make them specifically look as bad as possible. And that never added a single minute to a single person's life. The good news is there are plenty of those channels out there. There is always somebody screaming from the back of their car, from their closet, from a rooftop, from the bed of a truck about how everybody else is wrong. This guy's an idiot. That guy's completely useless, and then providing you with absolutely nothing substantive. There are plenty of those channels out there. If what you're looking for is that entertainment, you will find it. So yeah, I'm gonna make fun of ideas. Yeah, I am going to point out the absurdity, and we're gonna have a good time doing it. But I will no longer be making comments like comparing somebody to a melted wax candle, saying that their face looked like an unshaved scrotum, calling them an unmitigated fuckstick. None of these things helped. I remember a particular video where there was a lot to pick apart and to criticize about the actual content that had to do with health and wellness. I think it was a Remington James video. But I went out of my way to make fun of his music, just because I could. Even though I said I wasn't gonna do that at the beginning of the video, I still did it. And I actually regret that. It's not that I respect Remington James or Jason Blaha or anyone else that I have called out. I still feel about them the way that I did when I made those videos. But I have realized that nothing is gained except for money in my pocket by mercilessly dragging them across the coals and making fun of them. It also incites community members to do the same thing, which is the real problem. You see, as a public figure, I'm gonna have things said at me. These guys ought to know, Greg Doucette, all of them, they ought to know they're gonna have things said about them. I got threatened to be unalived. Someone threatened my life because I said 5 reps weren't magic. Now, there is a huge difference between what I was just describing and call-out videos. There's absolutely a place for those. No mystery whatsoever. I am a fan and a supporter of Jeff Cavaliere and Athlete X. His content has helped me work around chronic pain and physical disabilities to become as strong as I am, despite the considerable setbacks and obstacles that I have to work around. I have a bias towards his content. I am inclined to see it in the best possible light. With that said, he made a video several months ago on his 22-day series about growing bigger arms in 22 days. And in it, he said something to the effect of, don't be surprised if you could put an inch on your arms in 22 days. I thought that was not a defensible statement. I do not think that that is a reasonable time frame or something that should have been said. And a lot of people made content about it. Sean Nalawani, Simon Miller, Greg Doucette, Johnny Shreve, Scott Herman, just the people off the top of my head. I think they were all right to do so. I think they were all correct to do so because I don't think that that was a defensible claim. There was nothing wrong with the exercises in there, and I think most of them flipped out about the tape measure thing way too much. I think they were reaching there. But that was not a good video. Nobody's perfect. Despite the occasional mistake like that and the propensity to use things like perfect or ultimate in program description, which I don't think anybody should ever say about their programs, I still go to Athlete X for good information because I think the overwhelming majority of it is good information. There is some that I don't incorporate, there is some that I disagree with, and there is some that I think is actively wrong. Do make those videos. Do hold people accountable. Do combat the marketing nonsense that, well, even some of those people who are making videos about it are equally guilty of. While most of the content that I've made in the past has had some amount of substance to it, I have succumbed to the temptation to make something that I knew was going to get clicks, and I just don't want to do that anymore. If you're doing like a funny clickbait title, cool, whatever, but making a video about ongoing drama between 2 creators or you and someone else, or something that doesn't matter is not content that I am interested in making anymore. And I'm just not going to be doing it moving forward. And what I think most people don't realize is it doesn't matter how you get involved with drama surrounding something like that. It's going to benefit you. If you jump to somebody like Jeff's defense and you say, hey, no, you guys are wrong, and you attack everything that is said about him, whether it's fair or not, the people who agree or are part of that community are going to jump to your aid. They're going to watch your video. They're going to like it. They're going to defend your points, etc. And the people who were already against whoever you're talking about are going to disagree with you. And they're going to drive the algorithm and engagement by leaving a bunch of nasty comments. You benefit. But if you flip and say, oh God, I've been wrong this whole time. I can't believe it. This video finally opened my eyes. How could I have been so misled? The members of that community are going to be the people who are driving your engagement by leaving nasty comments and being angry at you. And the people who were calling you out this entire time are either going to accept what you have to say or call you out some more. You're still going to benefit. It doesn't matter what you do. When you get involved in drama, you're going to benefit. I don't want any part of that. It's quite possible to do commentary videos without resorting to all of that nonsense. One of my friends, Michelle McDaniels, does that very well. She tells you plainly at the beginning of every video what she's about, what she's going to talk about, where you can leave your comments, whether you agree or disagree. She invites those conversations. I love her content. I watch it. I just don't want to personally be that kind of content creator. She does it well. Other folks, not so much. There are other folks that don't do a good job of making sure their community understands they don't want them going out there harassing, attacking, bullying, demeaning other folks, content creators, members of other communities. And some small few actually encourage it from their members. The people who are being irresponsible and not telling their communities, as I am telling you now, don't do that. If you harass other people, if you bully them, if you threaten them, you're not a member of this community. You're a fucking parasite and you do not belong. To the folks who are negligent in that, you guys aren't doing your job. You are partially responsible. To the small number of folks that are actively encouraging it, going so far as to recruit special teams that sit around in little internet circle jerks, you're fucking pathetic. And I want absolutely nobody in my community to feel like that's what we're about. So yeah, we're going to challenge bad ideas, we're going to correct misinformation, we're going to debunk the bullshit, we are going to focus on giving people good, honest information, and we're going to try to make you laugh the entire time that we do that. Now, what did I do about all of those videos that I made where I misstepped, where I contributed to the problem? I didn't take them down. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't make those videos, but I did demonetize every single one where I feel like I crossed the line.
I'm only burning my half. All you care about is money.
I've also updated the description of all of those videos to reflect that. It says clearly that some of the content in this video doesn't properly represent the values of this community. We endeavor to do better moving forward, but I'm leaving this video up so that I can be accountable for the things that I have said. I don't want to take down my videos because that would be more convenient or more profitable in the long run. I know some other folks who no longer have the stances that they used to have, or they realize that some of the things that they used to say were really problematic for them and came with consequences, that have just decided to make those videos disappear and pretend like it never happened, and I don't think that's the way.
Be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And the other thing that I want to point out is that this is a community that is open to ideas. This is not a cult of personality. It's not my way or the highway. You do not have to agree with everything that I say or support everything that I do in order to be a member of this community. All you have to have is a sincere desire to help yourself live better and longer, and to help others live better and longer. Now that brings me to a point that I want to make abundantly clear. We are open to conversation as long as they remain civil and productive. From a variety of perspectives, so it doesn't matter where you're coming from. If your beliefs are holistic or spiritual and you want to talk about that, be willing to have those conversations as long as you can do so in a civil and amiable manner. However, we look to scientific and medical professionals with both the expertise and experience to give us guidance on what is effective to positively affect our health. Not just for exercise physiology or modalities, but also public health. That means that the stance of this community is that we are pro-vaccination, common sense social distancing, and any other guidance that we receive from these organizations as information improves and as things get better. Now, I realize that a bunch of folks right now are clicking the unsubscribe button, and that's okay. You don't have to leave. I'm not saying if you disagree with me, you have to go. It is the stance of this community, and I encourage you to look at all of the information available and make the best choices for you, the health of yourself and your family. I don't want that to be confused with taking some sort of middle ground, because I do not believe that both sides of contentious arguments are equally valid. Both sides will not be given the floor. I've already listened in good faith for 2 years to people make bad faith arguments that as soon as they had the appropriate information that disproved whatever it is that they were concerned about or received the answers that they were demanding, that they would simply kick the can down the road or move the goalposts. I'm not interested in having those conversations anymore. We will point to the medical and scientific professionals with the education and experience to give proper guidance and encourage you to follow it. You don't have to agree with me, but please do not expect equal time, because you won't be given it. Now, if that bit of information makes you feel like you can't in good conscience stay here, that's okay too. I'm not asking you to stay. I would much rather reach 10,000 people and make an impact in their lives than entertain 100,000 people and make a profit. I want you all to live as long and as healthy as you possibly can, even the people who disagree, and especially the people that hate me. Because perhaps, just perhaps, if you're around long enough, you'll come around to see things my way. So if you're sticking around, welcome to Purebullfit 2.0. Let's do it bigger and better than ever. That's it. I will see you guys in the next video. And until I do, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and go fit yourself.